Our X-Files. Welcome to our X-Files vault. Regular people talking about unexplained phenomena. UFOs. Ghosts. Cryptids. Hidden archaeology. Weird science. Our stories. Our takes. Our X-Files vault.
Welcome.
Give me a minute.
Shut up.
Let me get this out real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Welcome, believers and skeptics, friends, patrons, and party animals, to another episode of Diabolical. All right. Welcome to another segment of Spirits Talk, where we do our darndest to curdle the blood and kill some brain cells. Today, we have a very special guest, my good old buddy from way back when, maybe 20, 30 years we've known each other, something
All
like that.
those years.
All those years, Mr. Colin, the Maniac Hardy. Colin, thanks for being on the show.
I'm a maniac!
That he is.
I'm a maniac. No, you've got that energy. My energy is more like this. I'm a maniac.
What have I told you about doing the host?
I underdid the host.
You're gonna kill the show.
I'm a maniac.
Forget it. That's a wrap. All right, guys. So the story I showed him was a story called The Whistler. Skeptics and believers, feel free to throw down your thoughts in the comments section as much as you'd like. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have a story you think can hold as much water as The Whistler, please feel free to let us know. We'll try to get back to you about that. We might even have you down here in the studio to tell your story. So that being said, Colin, we have already begun drinking. Usually I ask my guest, what is your poison? So I'm going to go ahead and ask you, even though I know, what's your poison tonight, Colin?
Honey whiskey with water and lemon.
He's drinking honey whiskey because that's what I drink. So I drink honey whiskey and Coke. That's sort of my thing. But he wanted to kind of jump in the game, have whiskey himself. But too much sugar bothers you, right?
Normally a beer guy, but beer dulls the senses.
But whiskey doesn't.
My senses are sharp.
Tingling.
Yes.
Nicely done. This isn't going to work out.
Do we feel connected?
No, not at all. Anyway, so yeah, he's doing this. He's doing the honey whiskey, which I was on a flight to Hawaii when I was introduced to honey whiskey for the first time, dude, and changed my life, and I haven't turned back since. It's been my poison ever since.
It was a cardboard box. It was not a flight.
He's right. I've never been on a plane. So I do whiskey and Coke. He's doing whiskey and water and lemon. And how's it tasting? Is it doing?
Delicious.
Is it rocking?
No, it's good. It's fantastic.
I kind of wanted to try it. It looks pretty good.
The lemon is all that you need with the honey.
It sounds nice.
It's like a cold toddy as opposed to a hot toddy.
Is it refreshing?
I feel refreshed.
I get the idea in my soul that it would be refreshing.
Yes. If I were on a glacier made of honey and lemon and whiskey, I would suckle upon the tippity top of such glacier.
That makes me want to Eskimo kiss you beard to beard. What? Just a little nudge, just a little sway back and forth of the beard, just a little beard love, you know?
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Things took a turn.
I can't knock it.
You can't. No, you can't. You can't say that you've never thought about having your beard touch this beard.
Dan, the word Eskimo is offensive.
Inuit. Well, I am a honey whiskey guy, and I know Colin was willing to jump on board the honey whiskey train with me today because he didn't want to drink beer because it
dulls the senses.
Dulls the senses. Whiskey doesn't dull the senses.
Can you see how sharp my senses are right now?
Hey, that was sharp.
Graphics, lasers. It was more spit than lasers.
Coke, Jim Beam, and lemon and water. If you're looking to do some sponsorships,
Coke.
this is your chance.
Classic. Water. Classic.
Water classic. New water.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes better than old water.
Delicious. And half the feces.
Oh man, I've been drinking a Monster a lot lately, and I feel bad about it because it's demonic and devilish and it's all evil, and if you turn it upside down, blah blah blah. But I thought to myself, you know what? If my eternal soul relies on a sports drink, I have a lot bigger problems than I thought I did. So I decided, screw it. I like Monsters, and I'm gonna keep drinking them. What do you think of that, Colin?
If you are a Zoroastrian, it is not evil because bull semen, bull urine, all of these things, taurine, you use bull urine to bless all things if you worship the god of Zoroaster. So why would that be evil? It's not Ahura Mazda that is,
The car.
blessing
A whore Mazda.
this drink. No, Ahura Mazda is Zoroaster's god's twin god who is evil. But bull urine is not evil. Neither is taurine.
Okay, bull urine is not evil, but if you were to drink it, you would definitely think it was evil.
Look, some religions bless things with water,
Or
other
bull urine.
bless it with bull urine. Which one's good? Is it all relative?
all
Is
good.
one good? Is one bad?
I don't know when bull urine isn't good.
Okay. Well, that's what you're drinking.
Hence, I guess my affinity for Monsters, I guess.
Mhm. Some people like to suckle on the teat of a bull's urine.
All right, man. So, this has already gone off the rails, and we're just starting, man. Okay.
Wait. Hold on, I'm gonna laugh. No.
Why is he whistling? I'm about to tell you. Because I showed Colin a story that is going to be the catalyst to us moving forward to the rest of this podcast. Colin, what did you think of the story?
It was really good. Which it's not easy. It's not easy to have a good story.
No, it's not.
It's not easy to have a good, slightly horror, paranormal, otherworld story. Those are difficult.
Yeah, and it was pretty well put together. The guys did a really good job.
It's very easy to have a crap horror story with red glowing eyes. It's always the red glowing eyes.
And there, on the rear view mirror, was the hook!
Yes, so there are no red glowing eyes,
Nice.
which is always the sign of a possibly good horror story.
Total bullshit.
There is no kind of horns or, silhouettes of an otherworldly figure. There is no mouth within a mouth. All the things that come out in the horror
A
stories.
mouth within a mouth.
There was
That's
no,
the best part.
There was no, I'm going to watch this or listen to this for an hour and a half, and then we're going to have a big punch fight, and we're going to shoot guns, and then, punch. Like, come on. That's the best you could do. It didn't do that.
Yeah, it didn't. It was just subtle and simple, and it told the story.
Because that's not how real life goes.
That's right.
Punch fights don't last 10 minutes.
I know. How long is a ninja really going to stay in your head?
If he's a good ninja, 9 seconds. Blat.
Bloop.
Bloop, blat.
Split splop.
No red
Bloop.
eyes. In, out.
In, out.
The best ninjas are blind.
Slit scrotum. Out. Because that's what ninjas do. And they've got they've got a bad rap for a reason. All the split scrotums.
And out seeps the bull urine. Callback.
Is that where they keep it? I thought it was an Indiana Jones thing where it was like kept in a big warehouse and you didn't know which box it was in. But it was the whole time it was in my scrotum.
Kalima! Kalima!
Kalima Shakti Day. No. Do you know what? That always pissed me off that the guy burned up 15 feet from the freaking thing, and the girl was like a foot above it, and she's just chilling out, sweating profusely.
Fun fact,
Yeah.
he was slathered in baby oil the whole time. That guy, I can't remember his name, but he just wore baby oil at all times.
I totally bought it too. I was engaging in that. I was really like, he's legit. This guy knows his stuff.
I'm talking about
shit.
I'm talking about the character. It's in
Like that was his thing. Like he got hired because of all the baby oil.
No,
he
they
wore.
ripped his heart out because he was an asshole and he always wore baby oil everywhere he went. And they're like, you gotta rip the heart out of the guy with the fucking baby oil. You gotta get rid of him.
All right, Colin. So I am going to put you on the spot here, and I want you to give us a quick synopsis of the story you just heard. I know that you had to listen to it for about 30 minutes. Try to make it a couple minutes if you can. But you're not obligated. Just tell how you tell it.
Great. Okay, this is a story.
Already.
This is a story I'd like to tell.
All about how.
Okay, anyway, it takes place in the 1990s in a normal suburban neighborhood in America.
Normal?
I mean, any neighborhood any of us could have grown up in if we're American and, you know, lived in a nice...
Norman Rockwell kind of thing. That's the picture.
Norman Rockwell was racist. Anyway.
Yeah. Postman who delivers on foot my ass.
I don't know about that guy. Anyway, what could be any neighborhood, US of A, kids that grew up around the time I did in the 1990s, played Nintendos, had, pizza delivery, hung out and watched movies with the folks, or, in the bedroom with your friends on a sleepover. I mean, a pretty common kind of neighborhood, but the thing that was different about this neighborhood was two things. One thing about this neighborhood was that the people that lived there had, for whatever reason, amazingly good luck. They won radio contests. They got promotions that were unexpected. Someone might win a lottery ticket for a inordinate amount. Who does that?
But like all the time.
All happens in this one neighborhood. Great. I want to live in this neighborhood.
Yeah, I want to try it.
There's just one thing about the neighborhood that you got to put up with. At night, at 3 o'clock in the morning, when you should be asleep if you're a good person.
3:03 to be exact.
Nothing good happens after midnight, Dan.
Except me.
3:03. At 3:03 in the morning, down the main drag or all the streets of the neighborhood, you hear a whistler walking through. I don't think that was it. That was a different neighborhood.
Now I can't whistle.
This one
I
might.
can't.
Kind of sounds like he was whistling like. No, that's Mayberry. Not Mayberry. It kind of sounds. The tune sounds a little bit like.
If you got it right.
Like some sort of mafia story or love story starring Marlon Brando.
Very melodic and ruthless.
And no, Coda. No. What's the word? Anyway, edit that out. So the whistler comes down the street at 3:03 a.m. every single night of the week.
Every night.
It sounds silly. Everyone in the neighborhood knows it. It's a great neighborhood otherwise. They have a welcoming committee. They bring you gift baskets. They bring the kids candy bars.
I'll have a Twix and an apple.
When you move in. I mean, but they do give the parents a manila folder and they say, look, there's something you need to know. There's a whistler. You can hear it. It's fine. We all have good luck. We don't know why. Maybe tied to that whistler. But do not look at the whistler. Do not look out your window. Never, ever, ever.
Especially at 3:03 to 3:05.
When you're hearing that whistle, do not look out that window.
And what do they do to the windows there?
They cover them with shutters. They have locking shutters.
That's right.
Canvas, which is a really cool idea. I think I might install these in my home. canvas shutters with the string.
In case the Whistler should go.
The big, yeah, or just
Or an Eskimo.
Any old pervert.
Or an Eskimo pervert.
I mean, maybe I'm the pervert. Maybe I don't want people to see me.
Inuits, Outowits.
Maybe the Whistler doesn't want to look at me. Anyway. The welcoming committee recommends to any parent moving into this neighborhood to install locking shutters. You don't want to look, and you don't want your kids to look. You're little, stupid, dirty, fucking disgusting.
We just went R like that. I was hoping for PG-13, and I'm okay with R. Although, you know what? I don't know if that's R. Maybe PG-13 is the F word and S word. And...
In the Rodney Danger film Back to School, which was the first PG-13 movie I saw,
it was cursed.
There were boobs. It's like when you get sent to the prize box. When you're in elementary school and they say, get a prize, and you open it, it's like a booby prize.
Like the pen that would show the naked lady. That was
Now you made it dirty.
That was my favorite pen.
That's disgusting. I mean, literally.
Went too far.
There are kids watching.
No, they're not. I hope they're not. This is not kid friendly.
In my day, 6-year-olds watched Freddy Krueger.
For us, it was Wizard of Oz and Andy Griffith shows.
That'd be like letting your kid watch The Whistler. I mean, come on. Yeah. Freddy Krueger? Oh, shit. That scared me at 11.
I think that the scene where the guy gets pulled into the bed and the copious amounts of blood hit the ceiling.
Johnny Depp. And one day, that same guy would have Amber Heard shit in his bed.
Ringo!
Okay, so we were saying...
The gift basket people have showed up. They tell them, watch out for the Whistler.
Do not look out your window, or bad things will happen to you.
They show them paper clippings and newspaper clippings.
They show them evidence. You could die horribly to you. The rest of your life could just be riddled with bad luck, with a black cloud. Not everybody dies, they tell them.
But they say the life goes out of their eyes. The light goes out of their eyes.
And they just live as kind of empty, sad shells. So don't look.
It's not worth it.
The father, on that first night, goes ahead and believes this story wisely. Installs the locking shutters and kind of makes it clear to the children, do not look out. When locking the shutters, don't look out. And the kids believe it. So the protagonist in the story is a kid. His little sister, Noah. She is. She was born a preemie. She had to have a machine to breathe. She wouldn't grow. She was just kind of like their source of worry and fear and everything else from the time she was born. And once they move into the neighborhood, her health starts improving. They notice things that kind of prove the good luck. The little sister grows strong and grows up, and it's just one more example of, okay, the good luck that comes with living in this neighborhood is real, and we'll take it. And if not looking out the window for 2 minutes in the middle of the morning is all it takes to keep the good luck,
worth it.
I think I can take it.
Worth it.
A new neighbor comes and moves into this neighborhood, moves right next door, and they've got a kid,
12 years old.
same age as this kid. Main character's dad even has joined the welcoming committee by this time. They all believe it. They're all good with it because they know they're not supposed to look. These kids are getting along, so they have a sleepover. The new family's kid is a fucking piece of shit.
What a shithead.
He's a fucking shithead.
He's a 12-year-old shithead.
He is. He's one of those kids, you know, the guy in the horror movie.
He's probably
like,
watching this right now.
Really? Bullshit! Meh. His name's Holden.
Made up.
Yeah. They have the sleepover. Holden notices that after the dad locks the shutters every night, that he just kind of leaves his keys out. He doesn't hide them. He just leaves the keys out. After they have all their fun sleepover stuff, the friend is like, hey, I got a hold of the key. Have y'all even ever tried to look for the Whistler? Because, I mean, how could you not be curious? And I actually agree. How could you not be curious?
It would be very difficult. And he steals the keys from the dad's chest in the, not the dad's chest, but the dad's side chest.
Yeah, he's got them sitting on the nightstand. Because dad doesn't go to great lengths to hide it because he knows his kids absolutely will not look because
Right.
they're scared shitless just like he is.
And you got to think as a parent, you're sleeping in your room, your door's shut. Neighborhood kid is probably not going to come into your room at night. So this little shit did just that.
Well, I think he did it while they were all hanging out in the living room, having pizza, watching whatever movie as a group. He went to the bathroom, he kind of wandered back, saw some keys, ran into the room where nobody was there. Yoink! I mean, this is all premeditated hours in advance. He's like,
I thought it was more of the parents were asleep. He went in, snuck it out.
I don't think so. I think
You did not listen to this story.
that Holden did not even like
So talking to a wall.
the kid and his sister and didn't want to have a sleepover. He came over deliberately to devise a plan to be able to see the Whistler.
You know what? That makes sense. This was his chance. He's in somebody else's casa.
Because his parents were like, don't fucking do it.
It wouldn't even affect us. It would only affect because I'm at their house. I can get away with it, and I want to see. So
Right.
screw it. Continue.
So Holden gets a hold of the key.
That's right. I put those pieces together many moons ago.
Who just watched this
Then the
for
great
first time.
buffalo comes over the mountain. Holden takes the keys.
I like it.
Thanks.
Nola, the now, probably 7-8-year-old little sister, who's now a strong little girl that they've all worried for.
Yeah.
Well, she's curious and influenceable by the guest who has taken the key. And so she, when the Whistler's coming, is standing side by side with him as he's going to throw the shutter up because he wants to see. Can't, and I get it. You're curious. Whatever you're not supposed to do is a thing you gotta do. I mean, in every horror movie, there's always a person who's told, if you do this, you're gonna fucking not do it. And there's always the one guy's like, I mean, Holden's that kid. And that's why it's such a great character, because it could be, in any story, in any situation, there's always that curiosity in all of us to say, you told me not to do it, I gotta check it out. The shades go up, the friend sees it, he lets out a crazy blood-curdling scream, which causes the parents to wake up and come out. And from that point on, they pull the shutters down, but then it's just pounding and at first it's not.
Well, the little boy shielded the little girl.
Yes.
He grabbed her and shut his
He
eyes
saved his sister.
so that he couldn't see what was going on outside, and had her looking towards him and is basically nestled in his chest so she couldn't see either. So the two little kids from the protagonist's house did not see it,
Right.
but Holden did.
The stupid little neighbor got what he deserved.
So the house is riddled with sounds of craziness. They're beating on the doors and
First
the
it's
windows
a
for all night long.
But then it's a loud knock, then it's a pound, and the parents are up. They're saying, "What's going on?" And the son says,
We didn't look,
"This guy looked."
but he did.
And then the dad's like, "Just him?" And they're like, "Yeah." He's like, I mean, oh no!
Darn it. So how's it conclude, Colin?
So they sit there kind of huddled in the living room because they realize nobody can leave the room or the pounding's going to go everywhere. So they just huddle in the living room from 3:05 until the sun comes up at 7 a.m. They usher little Holden back to his parents' house and say, "Never fucking come over again, you stupid idiot."
Stupid little kid.
So he goes back to his parents. Within a day, that family is moving out.
And they didn't look so good as they were leaving.
And everybody just looks shrunken and pale. The light has gone out of their eyes.
And their belief is that the parents, for whatever reason, ended up seeing it or being affected by it. Whether it was...
Well, basically, either after they talked to the son, they said, "Look, it's not real. Look, we'll look with you." Opened the shutters, saw it, and it totally screwed them up. Or
guilty by proxy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So who knows?
Well, whether they believed it or not, they probably looked and it screwed them up.
Yeah.
So
that's the basic story.
mm-hmm.
This story doesn't stop with just this story. It does seem to continue for other people in different places. So I don't know. Maybe there's some credence to it because there's more than one story involving the Whistler. That being said, this one just kind of seemed to bring it all together. So,
yeah.
What are your final thoughts on the Whistler, Colin?
My final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
So you have your community that has this otherworldly, paranormal, or surreal figure that comes through. It can only be witnessed through one sense. So it's your metaphor, like all paranormal stuff. Maybe you can feel the cold brushing over your neck, but you don't get to actually touch whatever comes through, or you feel like you're being watched. But if you turn around, you don't get to see what's watching you. You don't get to touch, you don't get to feel, you just get to know it's there. As long as you can follow those rules, what comes with it is amazing good luck.
So is this literal? Is this metaphorical? Or is this paranormal?
I mean, what do I think?
What do you think? Your real thought.
I mean, all things metaphorical are literal and paranormal, and vice versa, I mean,
You shithead.
what?
Way to just pawn off this.
Is it literal?
Just answer with, I'll
Is-
take all three, Alex.
Is what we're
Dear pet, I'll take all three.
is what we're doing
Can I
right
have all
now?
three?
Is what we're doing right now
Well,
literal?
chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry.
Is this literal?
Neapolitan.
Napoleon.
Neapolitan. It's not. It's Neapolitan.
Napoleon.
How dare you?
It's Napoleon. Hey, in his comments,
If you eat Napoleon ice cream, fuck you.
stay out of my comments. Tell him he's wrong.
Is it Neapolitan or Napoleon?
Oh, I've got him doubting himself. Is
It's
it metaphorical?
This Neapolitan is
metaphorical. It's not literal. I mean,
Do you think it's not?
well, let's put it this way: if it's a story that's been told and retold and told to children and passed down and possibly experienced, there could be a literal version in
Is
there.
this it?
Well, no,
Okay.
not this version.
Okay.
No, hell no.
So this was just a story.
I feel like this would have been a composite of.
You don't think this is someone's literal story of something that happened to them in their life?
No.
You think it's a prefabrication?
I don't believe there's a neighborhood with a welcoming committee in the middle of it.
So you're saying that this is a modern retelling of an old
Yes.
story?
I think it's
An
a brilliant modern retelling, because if they were in ramshackle huts and had no electric light, and if it was told in terms of life in 300 BC, it would be cool, but it wouldn't actually
like that was the segment in their Reader's Digest. Life in these BCs.
yeah. Man, this is gonna be great.
Grug is gonna get a
Can
kick
you
out of
imagine
this.
editing on fucking wall carvings? That would suck, dude. You'd have to wait for a freaking volcano to come and wash everything away.
Weren't we all stoked when Papyrus came around?
Oh my god.
What a
Best
great
of
day
my
that
life.
was.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was a late adopter to Papyrus. I never jump out ahead of a thing.
When I was in computer school, in computer class, it was the floppy disk.
Ooh. Which one?
The 5-inch
3.5?
floppy. The 5-inch floppy.
Ooh. I was a 3.5 guy.
Yeah, that was a new development way later.
You're a couple years older than I am, so when I really got into using the floppy disk, it had already gone to the mini disk.
See what I missed from those days?
It's
One of the best games ever, Sneakers. There was Oregon Trail, Sneakers, and I think it was paratroopers, and the little dudes would come down, and you had to shoot them before they landed or some shit. You had to shoot the parachute off and the guy, and Like his leg would fly off, and then his head, and then his parachute would disintegrate.
Tell us another story about video games, people.
This was right before Papyrus came around.
Tell us another story about video rock, people. Is it a metaphor? Is it literal?
Or is it paranormal?
Or is it paranormal? Okay, well, no, that's a loaded question. You fucker, you fucking tricked me. So you're saying, what you're saying is paranormal is where the literal meets the metaphorical.
Yes, it is. That's what I'm saying. Is it black and white or is it gray?
Hey, Dan?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but this is the hand I shoot with.
So-
So Gene Wilder reference in 2021 probably not going to go over.
He's a great guy. Hey, Willy Wonka. That's all y'all need to know.
If you haven't seen Blazing Saddles, then you're not a real person.
Kids, don't listen to this guy.
Don't get me wrong. Mel Brooks kind of drives me nuts. He's sort of a little bit he tries a little too hard,
A little hammy,
bit hammy,
a little too vaudevillian.
too punny all the time.
Yeah.
Takes it to the next level too much. But he is an icon, and he did have a couple of good
It gives
ones.
you what you want.
There was a
It
few
doesn't make you
singers.
wait around. He wrote for the Sid Caesar show.
He doesn't make him any good.
No, it was the guys from vaudeville and TV was.
Look at me, I'm Jewish.
That is offensive. is that a line from one of his movies?
I don't know,
Let's say it
but he
is.
always brought it up. He always made sure that something was Meshuggah.
Okay, but if you can't think of something funny, just make fun of yourself.
Yeah, self-deprecating humor. But I mean, that was okay. The Schwartz is with you.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of Jew jokes,
Oh yeah, constantly.
in all of his movies.
Constantly.
Every single one of his movies. He was very. Do not Jew whistle on my show. No, he threw it in. He made sure that he celebrated the Jewish. What's the word I'm looking for?
Way to bring it home, man.
Heritage
Wait,
in all his
hey,
films.
let's all hug.
Jews unite!
The more you know. Okay,
Okay,
back to the story.
okay, still.
Let me just make my final.
Hold on. Doogie Howser.
Today, I learned.
You see why I hired this guy? Thank you.
I felt like I had something, but it went nowhere. If anybody has a better idea for how to execute that,
Nobody has a better idea. There was a story that I had in mind to have you listen to and watch, but I could. It's one of those. Okay,
Wait, don't move on yet.
okay.
I got one more point to make. One more point. It's about the Whistler.
It better not be pointless.
This is what I think.
Okay.
This is a universal concept that we should all be able to understand. It's creepy as shit. I mean, you're gonna get good luck, but you gotta creep the fuck out, and you have to fight this temptation every night. I mean, is it worth it? I don't know, maybe, if you can handle it. But my point is, the idea that you've got this spirit kind of sounds evil to me, but if you can kind of accept the protection of this evil spirit, you get great things out of it.
Good point. So, the light of the devil. Right?
Lucifer, the light bringer.
Well, think about it. When the devil, let's say the devil's real for a second, how does he lure you in? Does he lure you in with screaming evil at you? Or does he show you something kind of cool or something a little bit nice? Or does he give you 75% of the truth or 90% of the truth only to lead you down the primrose path to your own destruction? It's not so simple as just, hey, look at me, I'm gonna kill ya. Sometimes it's, hey, I got your back. It's all good. Come over to the dark side. It is your destiny.
All I have to say to that
Hmm?
is Insane Clown Posse. That's probably
Continue?
That's probably a bad reference.
What?
No, I think it's more of a Slipknot.
So wait. Here's what we figured out. So it turns out the Whistler this entire time was the Insane Clown Posse. That's what we've decided and figured out. Because we decided.
No, the devil is a nice guy. He's a liar. He's slick.
That's it.
He's handsome.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like Moopsy from Golden Child, who is actually Charles Dance, who is Tywin Lannister.
Hello! And dude, one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite scenes of all time in movie cinema is in the movie. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Charles Dance, What about the kid that has the ticket that gets him into the movies? What? Come on, man, help me here.
Judgment Day?
No! Something, is it something, ticket something. Oh, you're killing me, man. I have his autograph, by the way. I have Gene Wilder's autograph in a book he wrote. It's a terrible, terrible book. Last Action Hero.
Thank you.
Okay.
Charles Dance is in there?
Yes.
Fuck.
He's the bad guy with the weird eye.
Really?
He's always got a different eye, like a happy face or whatever. So, there's this great scene in that movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger finds Charles Dance and he's got him in front of him for the first time and he's wrecked his mansion and he like punches him in the face. He's like, "That was for my sister." Boom! He punches him in the stomach and he goes, "That was for my son." And then he slaps him on the wrist and he goes, "That's for my ex-wife." I love that fucking part. That's the fucking best.
I really like the reenactment of it too.
Thanks. Best joke ever told in cinema history. That's best
Brilliant.
joke.
It's much funnier when I didn't remember it and just got to watch you reenact it.
You don't remember anything.
They have never had
You didn't even remember the name of the movie.
Charles Dance.
You didn't even remember the name of the movie, and you didn't remember that Charles Dance was in the movie.
Save the Last Charles Dance?
For me.
We made that up.
Oh, you made that up.
That was
Yeah, so William Shatner and Riker both had their claim to fame.
the unexplained.
Not their claim to fame.
Which, I mean, that's always...
And their moment in the spotlight with the paranormal.
The unexplained was you take Robert Stack and his presentation, but you also hail back to Jack Palance. Jack Palance.
A frog. This waits.
Frog. This way.
This waits.
Think that guy talked like that all the time? Jack Palance.
I liked having a brother.
One thing.
I'm up here with a goddamn musical.
One. Did push-ups.
There's no way to segue into what we just talked. We took a break, and we came back, and this was where we were as we sat down. So I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, but Colin, sorry that not me.
Okay, let me get us back on track.
Frog.
Lift weights.
Name it. He was the best. I like Jack Palance. I loved watching Ripley's Drew.
Oh my god. It blew my
He was
mind.
the best.
Who was
And then
that?
Superman came and screwed it up.
You did?
Yeah, Superman screwed it up.
From Smallville?
Tony Danza. I mean,
Angela Samantha! Believe it or not!
what's the guy's name?
Lowell Joel.
P. Huh?
Lowell Jolson? You're talking about
Colonel.
Superman starring Tony Danza
Extra
and
Tan Superman.
you can't say that.
I'm sorry. More tan than usual Superman.
Oh,
Kyle Bravosky.
what the fuck was his name?
Kent?
Joel
No, not Joel. No, he was
Tingeling. What was the name of the
Oh!
What was the name of the Lois Lane? Lois and Clark
Yes.
was what it was called.
Yes.
Lois was played by
Some hot chick.
hot chick.
Mm-hmm.
She had a guest appearance on Seinfeld.
And she said that her boobs were
It
spectacular.
was about her boobs, the Seinfeld one.
Yes.
I don't remember her name. Kim Cattrall. Let's just say Kim
It's
Cattrall.
so not right. It's not even close.
Phoebe Cates.
I'm gonna say Andy Warhol.
Phoebe Cates.
We're just gonna spout off celebrities and never get it right.
Oh, I wish I could.
Tiki Barber. Wrong.
Rondé.
Why do I think it's like a K name? Like a
Rondé
Kendrick.
Barber. It's not Tiki, it's Rondé.
There's Tiki Barber. There's...
No, it wasn't Tiki, it was Rondé.
There's no such thing as anyone named Rondé.
What? Did you hear this? Comment!
No one. is
Rondé
named
Barber.
Rondé.
Tiki Barber's brother's name is Rondé Barber. He played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm just.
He was in the backfield.
I know.
In the other backfield.
Who was the other barber?
Tiki?
Was it like Kelsey, Kiki?
You didn't have Kelsey Grammer.
No, not Kelsey Grammer.
Tiki Barber is the running back for the Giants. Rondé Barber is a cornerback, I believe, for Tampa Bay.
Who was the barber for the Cowboys?
Marion.
Marion Barber.
He bucked like a bronco. He was a
And everybody said the same
bronco.
thing. He was a
Wear himself
badass
out.
motherfucker, but he's got 2 years if he's lucky. The way he just barrels into people like that.
You know when I gave up on the Cowboys?
1990.
No, 2000 something.
Why?
When Marion Barber was bucking around like a bronco, and he slid on kind of an icy patch, and he slid all the way across the sidelines under a table, like with the water on top under the tablecloth.
No.
But it was at a period of time when the Cowboys were only comical, and I can't watch the Dallas Cowboys as a comedy.
You know what the Dallas Cowboys did for me? They gave me false hope all the time.
I love the Cowboys.
I do too. I grew up with the Cowboys.
I quit praying and I quit watching the Cowboys about the same time. It may have been connected to something.
We have gone off the rails again.
A
But
frog.
that is what we do here. Time Daily.
Nope.
Nope, that's Wings.
Dana Delaney.
No.
She had kind of dark hair.
He wore glasses.
It's a she.
I'm talking about Superman. Super Dana Superman.
His name is. It's getting close. We're gonna
I
have.
feel like like it's gonna pop into my head at just any minute. It hasn't happened yet.
When it happens, I'm gonna jump out of the seat. I'm gonna knock over every piece of equipment in this room.
That would be so upsetting.
Look how mad he's getting. Are we connected yet?
Okay, so I had a story that was actually going to take the place of the story that we ended up watching. The reason that the story that we watched won out is because I could not find the story. So I watched a lot of those. There's a lot of good dudes doing storytelling, and you know, at night when I was working at Dunkin' Donuts, I would just have my headphones on all night long, making the donut. Gotta have to make the donut.
Time to make the donut.
Time to make the donuts. But I would just listen to scary stories all night long. I would kind of creep myself out. But the point is, I didn't like having lots of It genuinely freaked me out. It hurt a little bit. Wait. A little bit of nose crying.
Don't move. Wait for it. Dean Kane.
Coots. Dean Kane.
Dean Kane.
It came to you. And you hit me. Hard.
It had to be at a moment.
There's no hair there
Who
anymore.
moved your tattoo for you?
Yeah, there's a spot in your mouth.
I'm so
I
sorry.
wasn't there before.
I'm so sorry about disrupting your...
It was so much harder than you think it was. He raped my arm.
No, I was Googling it in my brain for hours.
That was rough.
I'm sorry.
No, it was good. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Cut.
It was definitely the first time you get spanked in your first bedsim video. Yeah, it was
what? The first what?
bedsim video. I call it bedsim, BDSM.
Some. I like
Bedsim,
it. Some.
bedsim video.
Okay.
You know, and the first time she's like,
Dan had a different story. Take two.
I didn't sign up for this.
I heard myself. We're even.
I'm not ready to be machined yet. This is bad.
He went there. Eskimo. That's our new.
We've been drinking.
That is our new safe word.
You know what?
If you're starting
Eskimo.
to offend me, would you want to be Inuit? No.
No, I think Eskimo's good.
Eskimo.
Eskimo. Why the? Is this the?
You're inserting offensive.
like they're a ventriloquist puppet,
It means
but
you're-
only 2 fingers deep.
It means you're inserting offensive content into my experience.
Eskimo.
Eskimo.
Okay.
We can also look. A lot of podcasts have trigger warnings.
We're not gonna do that.
Well, no, we can do a Eskimo warning. So if there's gonna be some offensive content, we'll go Eskimo. But we have to do it at the same time.
But we're never gonna be good at it enough to the point that we can ever warn anybody.
1, 2, 3.
Eskimo. This went off the rails quickly. But that's what's supposed to happen. It's called Spirits Talk because
The rails
the
were
spirits
this
do the
big.
talking.
We made them this big. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. No, we're good. We're good. I'm having a ball. You having a ball?
You had something to say?
You
Yes.
having fun, Colin?
Having a great time.
All right, great. We're going to do this again with Colin. Okay. So, I had a story when I was working at Dunkin' Donuts
Yes.
at night,
Yes.
graveyard shift. Weird shit happened there all the time, and I mean some legit weird shit, but I was listening to scary stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stories that came across genuinely got my attention as one that I wanted to do something with. Now, I listened to this like a year and a half ago. So I'm probably not going to tell it all well. I'm going to try to keep it short and to the point. But it's a really good one, and I just want to get your reaction to it.
Can we dim the lights?
No. It's too much work.
Just pretend it's happening.
Maybe we should dim lights. Okay. Now that the lights are dimmed or not. So the story is that there was this rumor that there was a train bridge that was very hard to get to because it was actually barricaded with like big tall fences and everything, and they didn't want people going out there because people had apparently died a lot on this bridge in this specific area, and I believe it was in New Jersey. So if you were to go to this train bridge, you had to do it under cover of night and make your way up over this 20-foot high chain link fence to get into the area to get down to the bridge. And the rumors were that basically people just kept dying in this one area on this train bridge.
And they were breaking in, they were climbing the fence, they were going to check it out.
Kind of a, we want to go check it out.
Kind
We
of a
want to go check it out.
suicide forest type situation in a way.
Totally, man. So this guy and this girl decided they want to go check it out, and they climb the fence, they scale the fence, and he gets over and says, "I gotta piss," and he runs off into the woods to piss real quick. And after he does that, he's calling out for her, and he can't find her, and then he hears her calling his name. He follows her voice, and he comes to the train tracks, and he can see her on the train track. And she's yelling for him. So he runs down closer and he's like, "What's going on?" She's like, my foot's stuck. You need to come get me out of here." So he runs down to the train bridge. He notices that she's not being herself, but she's scared. So he's chalking it up to she's freaked out. She really wants to get out of this position. Her foot's stuck between the railroad ties, and she can't get her foot out. And so he's trying to help her. He's yanking on it. She's like, "You gotta get me out of here! You gotta get me out of here!"
So he's like, I don't know you anymore. When you get your foot stuck in the railroad track,
You're like a different person when you're scared of dying
what
today.
is going on with you?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, boop, boop. Light train is coming. Now he's starting to freak out. She's starting to freak out. She's screaming bloody murder that he has to get her out of there. And he's pulling with all his might. He's trying to undo her shoe. Nothing is working, and he's just pulling and yanking, and he can't get her foot free. The train's getting closer and closer, and he's having to make a decision, literally, do I stand here and continue to try to get her free, or do I save my own life and get off the track? At some point, he's yanking on her foot, and she looks up at him with this diabolical look. She's just like, starts to laugh. And as she's starting to laugh, he looks up and he sees his girlfriend waving at him up on the hill going, "Get off the track, get off the track." So he lets go and he runs off the track and up into the hill, and the train comes flying by. As the train's going through, they hear this diabolical laughing. His girlfriend was never on the track. It was something trying to kill him by basically mimicking his girlfriend. Now, I would say that I believe in the Bible. I believe that the devil is a mimic, or his demons mimic the dead. So that is a definite, to me, sign of demonic activity. That being said, I don't know if the story is true, but the story is a freaky one, and apparently it's happened more than once. Again, we're going back to that whole, is it just a story that kept becoming a story that kept going, or is it actual events and people's real experiences that has been chalked up to bullshit, conspiracy theory, been there, seen that, done that, heard that crap? Colin, what do you think?
the version I heard of that story was actually in Chicago, and it was in the old meatpacking district.
Maybe it was.
And so,
Really? But you've heard it before.
and it was the guy and his girl. They went down there, and so he went down to the tracks, and when the girl got stuck, there was the whole exchange of, help me, pull me out, oh, I'll pull you out. And he can't get her, he unties the shoe, but nothing won't come out. And then he looks at her, and she looks at him, and he says, "You want me to gnaw it off?"
What?
And then he gets down on all fours, and he starts gnawing on her leg.
What?
But it's really her. And the train doesn't come, but he gnaws her foot off completely.
That's bullshit. My story was real. Yours
I don't
was
know if
fake.
it's real or not. It could be.
So you've heard a version of that.
Fact or fiction? We just made that up. Okay, what it reminds me of, what it really reminds me of is La Llorona. The story that's been told forever. Woman Hollering Creek / La Llorona.
Okay.
You know
Yeah,
the
I'm
story.
tracking with you. I'm hearing
You know the story. I don't know if this is a everywhere nationwide story, but we hear it here all the time.
Yeah.
Donkey
lady.
She's not a donkey.
It's donkey lady. That's a Texan thing. It's a
La
Texas thing.
Llorona is not a donkey.
It's in the same vein of the squealing, yelling, whispering out in the woods, scary voice.
The donkey lady is when you go to Mexico, there's a lady that has sex with donkeys at the club. That's the donkey lady.
Eskimo!
Sorry, Julie.
No, there's a donkey lady, not
I don't think he's doing that.
not that donkey lady. Donkey lady, as in lives in spirit,
In the
lives in the
woods.
river, and
True.
am I wrong?
Well, no, because
Isn't there a donkey lady
yes, there's definitely a donkey lady.
in like at a bridge
She's
in San Antonio, Texas?
She's
Or near San Antonio.
the cryptid / cryptid tulpa.
Okay. So the cryptid thing is that a demon beast is out harvesting souls, so to speak, and killing them. And that goes into the whole Wendigo, Native American.
But if you flip it,
animal becomes human, human
but
animal.
if you flip it, so the story of the crying woman though is there's a woman who ages ago she took her kids down to the riverside to have a picnic. It's so peaceful and so tranquil there in the little meadow above the creek. After their nice meal, they all lay down to have a nap. She wakes up. The kids are not under her arms anymore. And she's hearing the river, the babbling brook of the river go by in the current, and she can't find them. She starts calling their names, no answer. Oh, did they go down to the water? She jumps up, she runs down, she can't find them anywhere. She runs into the river looking for them, swimming, looking for them. The water is rushing over her, it pulls her away, the current gets her, she drowns to death.
Drowns to death.
Not
As
drowns,
opposed to drowning alive.
drowning to life.
Drowning to life.
Drowned to life.
That's a band right there. That's at least a song. Drowning to life.
I got drowned to life. Christian rock band? Eskimo! Anyway, parents tell their kids when they go down to the river, look, do not get by the water because La Llorona, the crying woman, is in there because she's weeping.
She'll pull you down.
You can hear her weeping.
She'll drown you to life.
And she will pull the kids. And if you listen in the still of day, in the still of night, you hear, oh, no, it's, where's my kids?
Is that true?
She's crying.
She's screaming and crying.
You can hear the
wails. She's wailing. The wailing woman. That's what it is.
yes.
The wailing woman.
Well, there's Woman Hollering Creek,
Woman Hollering Creek. That's it.
also known as La Llorona. So you warn children, in my opinion. If you tell a kid, hey, if you get by the water, it runs fast, you'll fall in, you'll drown to death.
Right.
But
You say there's a ghost that's going to grab you and yank you in.
right, kids will be like, whatever, lady. I don't know what you're talking about, Mom.
Right.
But if you're like, there's a lady in there whose kids died horribly, she will grab you by your feet. She's freaking scary. There is a major motion picture video about it. If you need me to show you, kids.
Straight to video.
Major.
Like this podcast.
This podcast is straight to digital. Anyway, my point is that the railroad track story reminds me of that.
They're all just a word to the wise.
Because Dan, what is a railroad track if not a man-made river?
You said it all right there, buddy. You said it all.
That'll probably be rated out.
Did that have any punch?
Right.
I just wanted to visit it back.
You didn't. If you think of Dean King's,
I didn't like you were like. you were in slow motion and fast motion, just bringing the hammer down, and it was full contact. It still stings me.
if you think of the Lois Lane actress from that show, go for it. I feel like you're close. Some with a T.
Is it?
But if you give the wrong name and slap the shit out of me, then I get to enforce
Carrie Underwood.
double the pain.
Oh,
Okay, so the railroad
fucking
story.
gross.
About the railroad. What do you have to say about the railroad story? Do you think it is a story of demon mimicry, and the purpose of which is that demons want? Well, it's the trickster.
Mhm.
Tricksters are in all cultures and religions. You got Loki, You got the coyote in Native American religion. In all different cultures and religions of the world, you have the idea of the trickster. And it's not necessarily like the idea of the devil harvesting souls is so much more epic and heavy than kind of just the basic trickster idea, where it's just like he lures you down to the tracks, pretends he's your girlfriend, tries to get you stuck, scares the shit out of you, and laughs at you, or possibly kills you. But the idea of, the devil and his minions will send out their emissaries to bring any good soul or any temptation vulnerable person and possibly end them.
Okay, so the question we have to ask ourselves is there some truth to these stories, or can they all be dismissed as just simple, good old-fashioned, scary story, save a life kind of word to the wise kind of thing? Because, look, there is some weird shit out there. It happens. It does happen. And I believe that these stories, some of these stories, have in actuality probably occurred and happened to somebody. Maybe some of them are overblown. Some of them have been blown out of proportion to the point of being a urban legend, and now it's gotten its own legs and it's kind of morphed into something more intense. Or it was an intense thing that happened, but maybe it only happened one time. But now it's happened to 30 people. Or it could simply be just a good old-fashioned, made-up, nonsense story to get people to not do something stupid. But it's not always black and white. It's often gray area. And I think I've had things happen in my life that I can't explain, and I know that there was some paranormal activity there. But I can also tell you that I've been sitting around the house and I don't have any weird shit happen here, but every now and then, maybe out of the corner of my eye, I see something move, and I'm not crazy, and I'm awake, and I don't have any ghosts in the house, but something will just catch my attention or creep me out, or I'll think something bigger is there than actually is. So is it all in our minds, or is it all perception, or is there something sinister that isn't being accounted for in some of these stories? Like, is the sinister just the story? Is that the whole story? Or is the sinister part easy to dismiss because it's just another ghost story? And that's all I have to say about that.
Those must be comfortable shoes.
Life is like a box of ghost stories. Those look like comfortable shoes.
I want to go home. I'm feeling tired. Jimmy.
You got shot.
I
We just had to keep going until we finally got a real reaction.
That was good. That was good.
We Forrest Gumped it hard.
You said it well.
Got shot.
Is there sinister? Okay, but that is assuming that the paranormal equals the sinister.
It also assumes that the paranormal is a... I just can't think of the terminology. Is it is it a behavioral correction?
What, the story that people tell you?
Right. Did it really come from someplace? Or is the ulterior motive simply don't do that because you'll get hurt by
Isn't that folk tales? The idea of a folk tale?
right? But so history, pre and post written record, was handed down through stories.
Sure.
The truth of a people was handed down through vocalized stories. So there's the word to the wise story, the prefabs, and then there's this legit freaked me out, crazy, creepy, weird shit happened. I don't know that I'm ready to dismiss all of it as simply it's just to get you, it's just to correct your behavior. My thought is that there is some legit wild shit out there that people know they experienced it. They believe they experienced it. They know what they saw. They know what they heard, and everyone's going, "Nuh-uh, that's dumb. That didn't really happen." And then it morphs into this almost insane story that takes the credence away from the original story.
That's quite possible, but I don't think it's dismissing the whole idea. Saying that it is a story that parents tell their kids to save them from drowning is not to say that you're dismissing the idea of a woman really drowned looking for her drowned kids, and that's horrifying.
But is it when it goes into the area of she's out there screaming and wailing, this disembodied spirit is out there screaming and wailing for her lost children, is that where it turns a corner and goes into the fake and the unreal and the prefabricated and the nonsense, or is that an actual thing that's going on right now and there's something to it?
Well,
and it's creepy out there. It's weird. You don't like going there.
So we are talking about folk tales, which is not written word, just folk tales.
Mm-hmm.
So if we return to the children on the railroad track story from your previous podcast on Diabolical. If we return to that story, like that,
Thanks for the plug, buddy.
I'm a professional.
You just plugged my show on my show.
Give me my money. Dean Cain.
Change.
Anyway, if we return
Dean Cain.
That was him. If we return to the children on the railroad track story, where you explained on your other episode that we all believe, anybody in the central Texas area believes it to be in San Antonio, and I haven't personally gone, you've personally gone, I know 10 people who have all personally gone to the railroad tracks and been pushed off, and so they've all witnessed and experienced the phenomenon. And then in your show, you explained that, well, actually, there was no bus full of children killed on that railroad track. It was in Salt Lake City in 1930. And that really did happen. And there really is a news story associated with it.
But can't ghosts travel up and down railroad tracks? Just saying. Maybe every now and then they take a vacation to another railroad crossing.
New rules!
We ain't gotta stay in Salt Lake City. My destination is, okay, I've been there, I've done it, I've seen it, I know what happens, I know it's real. That being said, I can accept that there's something maybe paranormal there, and I can accept that maybe there's something scientific there. It doesn't have to be a train killed a busload of kids. It could be something else.
Okay.
But that's the story that coincides with the weird happenings there.
Let's get real nuts.
Hit me, buddy.
What is science?
Aaron Tippin.
What is science?
Science is the theoretical explanations and or proven hypotheses that explain.
How do you prove a hypothesis? How do you turn a hypothesis into a theory?
You turn a hypothesis into a theory by proving that it happens over and over again.
By experimenting.
That it occurs, it's explainably occurs over and over again without fail. So it becomes a law.
Thank you. I love it. So we've talked to 100 different people who have gone to the railroad tracks once.
Okay.
And been pushed over with their, by the children's hands and the baby powder or the flour on the back of their Suburban.
Sure.
Well, who's ever gone to the railroad tracks and done it 100 times or 1,000 times and recorded it? So why are we not being scientific about our paranormal experiences? And I think we're scratching the surface in this day and age. We have all this technology to do it. You see the ghost hunter shows, whether, some of them are probably total bullshit. Some of them are actually people that are trying to conduct some sort of science to recapture the phenomenon. And if you were to go do it 1,000 times and get the same result 1,000 times, scientifically it's happening, but it might not have an explanation in any sort of physics as written.
And that brings me to a great point. The thing I loathe the most of shows like A Haunting, and not even A Haunting doesn't do it as much, but well, they do it, but there's shows about people telling their stories, and then they bring on the resident expert. And the expert always has some BS, bullshit, who the F are you to call yourself an expert crap, and say dumb shit like, well, obviously, the 72-year-old man who died there was attached to the home, and he needed to let everyone know that bath time was at 11:30. they make up the reasons, and they make up that the person. Oh, look, let me ask you a question. How many times do these shows have the ghost is at a bar? Okay, some famous old bar or something like that, or some place of business. There is no way on God's green earth that any person would decide that their true connection in life is the place that they worked. Bullshit. And acting like you're an expert and telling me that there's an attachment and they're reliving the time that they stubbed their toe is such bullshit, and you're acting like you're telling everyone the truth, and you're so full of shit. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you, fuck all y'all. Y'all are all full of shit. Anyway, I just had to say it. You're full of shit.
I agree. Two things.
Expert my ass.
Two things on that rant. One,
They did rant.
if you wake up dead one day
If I wake up dead.
and you were at Dunkin' Donuts, you're gonna be pretty fucking pissed.
Pissed.
If I wake up dead and I'm at Burger King, where I worked for
20 minutes?
5 months, and that's where I wake up dead, I am gonna rattle some fucking shit.
Yeah, but the chances of that are pretty slim.
You're a Dunkin' Donuts ghost. I'm a Burger King ghost. The second thing is, you were talking about the expert that comes in and says he's attached to the blah blah blah.
He needed to tell his story.
So my pet peeve is there's somebody always walking around and they come into an area and they go, I feel cold. Oh, it's an air conditioner vent. I feel
the goosebumps on my arm. Now, I've seen some shit that's pretty weird.
on TV.
Yes.
Ooh.
And only there. No, I've seen some weird shit, but I've also seen weird shit on TV that, okay, I've seen videos of things that people that have taken videos that's like pretty messed up. And you can also go, okay, how much of that is fishing line and how much of that is some real ass shit?
I know. There's too many fakers.
Yeah, exactly. That makes it really hard to
There's too many
fish through the real.
fucking P.T. Barnums in the world, and not enough.
I need hits on my YouTube.
Whatever Bailey was. Time out, I gotta pee.
Okay.
Was that done properly? Is that how I'm supposed to do that?
Yes. Well executed. All right, so we're back.
Alright, I'm gonna finish this last swig of my Jim Beam honey whiskey with water and lemon juice.
What a girl.
Starring frozen water as ice.
What kind of girl drinks honey whiskey and water with lemon?
And I'm switching to Bud Light. It's Bud. It's light. It's Bud Light.
You know what? A lot of people... never mind, Mrs. Howell.
Bud Light should hire me. Anybody hire me, please?
You are Mrs. Howell.
Mrs. Poole?
Howell.
Mrs. Poole?
Howell.
From Tony from
Gilligan's Island.
Oh, the millionaire.
You did not catch that. I was calling you just this pointless old
bag. Wait, did you say
pointless old
Oh,
Or
you
this
said
old
bag.
rich old bag. But yeah, I was getting
You
there.
said a bag and I said hoe bag.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that in the test market, she was the most hated character.
Same page. Yeah. Ginger wasn't as pretty as she.
She got nasty.
tried to. It was all eyelashes and cake.
She did not age well.
But Marianne,
Still alright.
and then right above her, Gilligan.
Marianne Gilligan Ginger.
Yeah, fucking Gilby Pitts. No, I'm sorry. Dolby. Dolby Gillis. Dolby Gillis was the show that fucking. What the fuck was Gilligan's name?
Gilligan.
Dean Cain! Okay, well, anyway, I switched to beer because I'm done having my wits sharp.
Liquor, then beer, never fear. Beer, then liquor, never sicker. That's the tip from your old Uncle Dan there, huh? It just saved you a lot of pain and heartbreak.
Pink by morning. Sailor no warning.
Britney Spears by afternoon.
Pink at night. Sailor take fright.
This doesn't make any sense. Nothing that happened here made any sense. Now we did get it. I think this is a great first, whatever, third,
Barbosa.
second, whatever this is. This is our first hit.
Barbosa.
Barbosa.
I'm trying to be the next. What's his face for?
Sam Rockman.
No, I'm sorry.
Mary Stuart Masterson.
Can you stop watching me embarrass myself?
I love that we're just like spouting out celebrity names that have nothing to do with anything, just for the fact of like we don't understand each other.
I love the fact that we are spouting out references that we can't even
We don't even know what we're talking about. This is nonsense.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
This didn't work.
Barbosa. Watch, I am a skeleton pirate. Ah! It's going through my rib cage.
I can play piano, but I don't know how to talk to people socially.
I disgust myself.
Okay, so I spit a little bit.
Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush.
Brilliant.
Love Jeffrey Rush. Shine was amazing.
Shine. Love that movie. Jumping on the trampoline with no underpants. Brilliant.
Yeah, he was really good in that. That whole thing, he was actually talking the whole effing time, dude. Like, think about it. That performance, the Shine performance with Jeffrey Rush, he was talking.
Kind of.
No, like, okay, if you listen to what he was saying when he was talking, he was making sense.
Just kind of mumbling, rambling.
But the words made sense. He wasn't just sitting going like nonsense and gibberish. He was actually talking like he was talking to somebody that wasn't there. Like he was talking to himself, whatever it was. But he was actually, it was cognitive words from a lunatic, you know, from a guy that wasn't right in the head. But it was so intelligently done, and Jeffrey Rush did such a fantastic job of doing that. And I understand. I mean, he practiced the role, he studied the lines, he did his thing. But I've always thought that performance was fantastic because he's in a setting with other actors who are acting around him, having an actual conversation, and he's just in the background and in the foreground talking to himself, but intelligently, but off. Does that make some sense? You know what I'm saying? It was diabolical. I hate you.
No,
You're never allowed on the show again.
I love that. I love that assessment. I have
so
never noticed it.
Yeah, if you listen to him talking, he's talking. He's not just going to the He's talking. He's talking to a dude. I've seen it like 3 times. And it's not really a 3 times watch movie because it's
really good though.
It's but it's like my dad would say, I watch Apocalypse Now once every 10 years. There's some movies that
So it's not like it's not one you watch. It's not one you watch like once every couple months, like Hotel Rwanda or one of those.
Gotta get my Hotel Rwanda on.
I just like to
It's
go to
been
sleep.
3 months.
I like to go to sleep to Hotel Rwanda every night. It just comforts me.
It's like a soft lullaby in the background.
Sorry, worst movie. Worst best movie of all
I've
time.
never seen Hotel Rwanda.
There's not even a little girl in a red dress in a black and white movie. It's even worse than that.
Oh my gosh, you just Schindler's Listed my show. Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
is that the never go full Eskimo?
You went full Monty. You went full Eskimo.
Okay. Okay. I think we really wrapped it up.
With all the Jew talk, to bring it full circle into Schindler's List, with specifically like the most horrifying part of the movie, you're a sick man.
Steven Spielberg.
Was it Steven Spielberg?
Epilepsy, my friends.
Did Steven Spielberg do that one? Yeah, I guess he did. Did he? No.
He did.
Was it Bruckheimer or
Steven Spielberg.
was it Spielberg?
Bruckheimer was just a wee sperm. We talked a lot of shit about Mel Brooks. 12 chairs. 12.
I've never seen it.
It's not hilarious. It's hardly even funny. It's a movie made in the 70s. It's very weird, and it's about this pauper and this kind of somewhat of a well-to-do con man that kind of team up. But there's this line that I always say, and nobody's ever seen the fucking movie, because only, my dad happened to rent it from Jim's Video
Jim's Video.
in the 1980s.
Oh, that's a Texas thing.
But there is this whole thing with the epilepsy, my friends. Epilepsy. And it was the guy, they meet each other with the one guy on the street.
Gather around, family. We're going to watch My Left Foot and 12 Chairs again.
Love it. Never seen My Left Foot.
I've never seen it either, but I know it exists.
Love you, Daniel Day.
Love you, Daniel Day. I did not see that coming. I could not have assumed at the beginning of making this podcast that we would last of the Mohicans at the end. I just didn't see it.
I will find you.
I didn't see it coming. Yeah, that's what I love about this. Colin, you just, you're a good friend and you're a great guy.
It's not feeling very paranormal.
But I'm really having a good time just talking. Who cares? This podcast, the main reason for this podcast is nothing.
Ooh. Oh, wait,
hang it out.
Before we close out,
Hit me.
today, this morning, between the hours of 7:30 and 8 o'clock,
That's a long time.
because those are hours. 7:30 a.m. and 8 a.m. I invoked the name that can be named, but maybe shouldn't be named, which is that of Golden Corral.
Go Dion.
Unbeknownst to me, with Dan and I haven't spoken in days. But unbeknownst to me, Dan did not know that I had invoked the name of Golden Corral. But he went to eat.
I did.
It's Golden Corral.
This very eve.
Coincidence?
Not, I think so not. Eskimo!
Okay. I think we're ready.
Okay.
I think we've gotten all of our...
Okay. So, look, we're hanging out. We're drinking, we're having a good time, we're talking about weird, stupid stuff, and we're just throwing our opinions out. But I just said all that for no damn reason. Just like the existence of this show is for no damn reason. So, Colin, final thoughts.
Every young man has to have a perfect machine gun sound.
Mine sucked. People didn't play with me when it was Star Wars time or Army Man time because I was the worst gun guy.
I'm so glad I met you later. We would have never been friends.
I couldn't go, whatever it is. I couldn't do it.
You can go.
Yeah, some guy's going, and he's making these bass sounds.
Or you could be like,
I relied on good old faithful, pew, pew.
okay.
That's all I had.
If you're the guy that goes, that kid's fucking out. Like, don't play with that fucking kid. He's fucking weird.
I go.
That's not bad. You know, you're in a weird little town.
That was in Hawaii.
That weird little town called Hawaii.
That's where I was when I was a little boy.
Dan's from a
that.
weird little town called Hawaii. You probably never heard of it.
I lived on Hickam Air Force Base, right off the coast of Pearl Harbor. So literally, I could ride my bike to Pearl Harbor in about 3
So
4
you've
minutes.
met Kate Beckinsale and Ben Affleck.
Know them quite well.
But you know what? It was actually Josh Hartnett's baby.
Why
Pearl Harbor.
did I bring you here?
I was making a point.
Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted a lot. Go ahead.
My point is, when we go to experience the paranormal, there's a way to trust your instincts. If you just I know that kid, the Holden character, it's like, I'm just gonna look, fuck them. They have the same instincts we all do, which is, if you look, something bad's probably gonna happen. But if you could do it at just the right
Interval.
level, you might be able to witness it, but not be destroyed by it. Is that possible? I think we all think so. And we're trying to band together so we can witness the diabolical.
So, if I'm to understand you correctly, there's the I want to be an actor in this. I want to be a player in this. I want to see this for myself and experience this for myself. There's the I don't want any part of this. And then there's the if I can approach this in the right way, I can be an observer and not an
I think you just named the three gods of the Hindu religion: preserver, destroyer, creator. Vishnu, Brahman, Shiva.
When the great elephant crawls from the turtle's back. No. No,
We're not editing this out.
No, we're not.
Wait.
Just me suffering.
Wait, do that again. Let's do it together.
Katie Holmes.
Oh, Kira Sedgwick.
Boobs were great in Seinfeld.
Tara Lipinski. Seoul, Korea.
What is it when you're if a certain amount of people die in DWIs there and you die in DWIs? Statistic. You don't want to be a statistic of the paranormal story or the event, but you do want a part in it. And then there's also the stay away from it part, right? So there's the invest yourself into it, and then there's the don't invest yourself into it. And here's the thing: you let others experience it, and you listen to their stories, and then you create your hypothesis based on 9 people had the same experience, and I don't have to experience it because they all did. But who's telling the truth? Who's lying? Who prefabbed it? Who made it up? Where did it actually come from? Why is it even a story in the first place? All that shit comes into play when it comes to paranormal stuff, because we're dealing with not only that we can't explain it, but there's also we're trying to explain it, and in so trying to explain it, we over-explain it, and it grows its own legs, and it becomes less reality and more fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Am I tracking with you a little bit here?
Well, no, that's very true. Everything you're saying is true. What I'm saying is, look, there's a lot of people who really wish. There's a lot of Holdens in this world that never get their chance to open the shutters, and they would just so wish that there would be something on the other. Like they would hear the whistling and the tapping, and they could just throw open the shutters and be like,
I want to see.
Do it to me!
Right.
And then, so more often than not, the people that tell their paranormal stories are kind of right more in the middle. They're not necessarily the ones who are so afraid of it. They're not necessarily the ones that are so desperate to witness it. They're just kind of right in the middle.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I've got my own. You know, I'm not saying I want to tell a story. I'm just saying I've got my own stories that I know I experienced them.
right.
And when you're trying to explain it to somebody, you feel a little bit like an asshole. Like,
Unless
this
somebody
really happened to
asks
me.
you.
I know, but it's like, you know, yeah. If somebody asks you, it doesn't matter. The point is, they go, you say, okay, this happened to me, and you might get a, wow, that's crazy. But you're probably also in the back of their head, they're kind of going, whatever, dude. You know, it's like, but you don't know. You weren't there. I was. And how can I possibly get you to imbibe something that you weren't a part of? How am I supposed to get you to just 100% buy into the fact that I saw, I heard, and that's all there is to it? This is true. This is real. How am I supposed to get you to jump into the boat with me? I can't really do that. You haven't experienced it. All you can do is make up your mind based on a story I told. So some of these paranormal stories, what I'm trying to say here is that some of it might actually have happened. Some of it might be based in reality. Somebody might have been trying to tell their story, and everyone's going, that's the same as the stories that the Tibetans told, and the Peruvians told, and the Incas told, and the Incans are Peruvian, and the Aztecs told it, and it was in the Bible, and you're just taking from a story that already exists, or you're morphing it into your own story. It's like, no, I actually didn't.
But what if everybody's telling that story because it's something that really happens to everybody?
Exactly. Maybe there's some truth in it. But that's the thing. There's so much falsehood, so much overdo it.
Embellished.
So much embellishing too often that it kind of kills the reality of the story. It kind of kills the truth behind the story.
Kills the real story.
Yeah, and I would venture to say that there's some real shit out there that is just plain out scary shit, and it really happened.
See, but I don't think paranormal equals scary.
Doesn't have to be.
For the most
I've had
part,
paranormal things that weren't scary,
right.
but they were still weird, and they freaked me out. And if I try to tell it to somebody, they're just kind of like, huh, it's weird, it's weird. Huh, that's wow. But they're not really going, oh man, that happens to me every Thursday. You know? How is anyone supposed to agree with you when they haven't experienced what you've experienced? And how are you supposed to hear a story and go, that's it? That's the way it happened? Exactly. 100%. No questions asked. Gilligan fucked the skipper.
Other way around.
I'm sorry. Take or give her. Yeah, my mistake. Little buddy.
Little buddy.
Yeah.
Beat him with his hat.
Do we got anywhere else to go on this, man?
No, I'll save the rest for next time.
Right. So, had a great time with you guys today. Had a great time with Colin. Colin, thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Man, it was a blast. We're going to have a good time again. Expect a reoccurring character here with Colin, the Maniac Hardy. And I'm Dan Mahan. I'm your host of Diabolical. And remember, this is called Spirits Talk, which means the spirits do the talking.
I like it.
And everything is diabolical. Thanks, buddy.
That's fucking awesome.
Great.
You could have just never turned the camera on and I would have still had a great fucking time.
Yeah.